Good evening. In this episode, in this video, I will show you how far we are with the house. And in the previous videos, we made this bridge. And in the meanwhile, I'm already busy with fortification works, which these are for the cannons of soldiers. These are these are willows which are made into baskets which are filled with sand, and then the other ones, and this is sewing yarn, and this is just recuperation metal which I got from an old fruit box, and I have to do them all like this, and this is just sewing yarn, as you can see. Later up I will fill them with a mixture of fine sawdust and glue, and then we have to paint still so that it gets the colors of branches, willow branches, and I will have to do them all like that. In between, here and there, I will put some trees, cut trees, and then the cannons will be put into this position, and there's infantry soldiers as well, which are, I will show you. In this case, this is a Swedish infantry of the war of around 1700. There was a war between Sweden and Russia, and actually this is a Russian brand called Zvezda, and I think the quality is superb when you compare it to other qualities. You can see the miniatures, and they are very, very finely detailed. Yeah. I still have to paint these. I recently discovered this brand, and I'm very satisfied about the quality of the figures. This is scale 1:72, which means that 1 centimeter is 72 centimeters, and I can prove you that I made the house into this scale, because if I would hold a soldier close to it, you'll see that it is exactly fitting, could come through the door. So the scale is okay, as you can see, and this house will come in the battlefield. And I still have to find the artillery of around the same time for this is the next project which I will make. This will come very close to the house, and actually it will, let me see, it will be like this, and the bridge will come, let me see, we'll just first put this away. The house would be here. They would be, of course, higher. It would be on the top of the hill. And then the hill goes down here, and here would come the bridge, which is, of course, you have to see it like this. And then here it starts to go down the hill after these reinforcements for the artillery, and the river, now the river will come, of course, through here, a small river which is quite fierce, and here there will be a little channel coming from the river with a water mill. And now we need to, in order to finish this house, which is the water mill, in order to finish it, we need to make a base, which I strongly recommend you to not use cardboard but use something stiff. In this case I used hardboard. This is quite hard board, but not too hard, it's still easy to work with. You could use thin plywood, and because I carved till the bottom, I needed to raise the level because I wanted to add some little street to it to put the flower bags and things like that. And at the side we need also some paved road. Why? Because the firewood will lay there and we don't want it to lay in the wet ground. So I decided that here there has to be carved too. So that's why we had to raise the level, because if we wouldn't have raised the level, your road would have passed and it would be like this, and then the door wouldn't be able to open anymore. Next time I simply will give it 6 millimeters which are uncarved, and I have to calculate when we want a piece of road to come. This piece of road still has to be carved, and here this one too. And in the corner here there will be ground, some flowers maybe. I already pre-drilled 4 holes for screws of about 40 millimeters long and 4 millimeters in diameter. 40 millimeters is 4 centimeters. This is the length. It's about, let's say, it's about the length of your 2 parts of your finger. Now we pre-drill this, and the roads still we have to carve, and I will not install them before they are ready with carved before they're carved. And I will carve the road like I did on the bridge road, like this. I learned from the bridge that if I make the stones too big, that it becomes very ugly, as you can see here. Fortunately this is not too much visible. I'm not very satisfied about the road here, but you can see it very well here in the middle. I did them a little bit finer, and it looks much better compared to, for example, here. They're very big here, and it doesn't look. But in the middle, look again. They look okay. Or here, for example, here, this part here, they look very okay. So what I will do is I will carefully measure out this time and make them not too big when carving, before carving. Like that we'll have a result which will be much more satisfying. But before we install these, they have to be carved, like I said. And now we are at the point that we could already glue it into place, the house on the base of cardboard. This is just trash. This was material which I also scavenged from a fruit box in a shop. And by the way, before I forget, let me see. No, I can't find it. The next project will be a church. But I will show you that in another video. So we will glue it, which will be done with simple white glue, PVA glue, wood glue. And I apply a thin layer of glue on both sides, because the material itself always absorbs a little bit of the glue. That's why I prefer to put it on both sides a little bit. But don't overdo the job, because all excess glue will be squeezed out. So that is only waste if you put too much glue on it. Right on the bottom as well we can apply some glue. And what I did is I already put a thin coat of glue here, but thinned glue with water, so that the end grain material, in this case it's end grain material here, would absorb already a little bit of the glue. And like that, we are sure of a tight bond. Okay, we leave that and we quickly also spread the glue here before it starts to dry. Which I know this is already happening. Okay, once that is done, we take our 4 screws and insert them a little bit till we see that the point of each screw is just coming through, just a little bit. The 4 screws are inserted and the points are just pointing through, and then in the correct way the front door is going to be here. We can start screwing it into place. Now the points find each their holes as well, and this is the moment that you realize why I prefer, why you would like to use wood instead of cardboard, because this is wood and wood is a little bit, this wood is more durable. It won't damage that easily. Okay, and we need a screwdriver as well. I'm going to get one. Then I wouldn't put one screw completely in. I would drive each screw a little bit in, and like that they're all equally going in. Even though I made sure that they are well centered and well aligned, those holes, just in case, I always do it this way, like that we spread it. Okay, it's done. Now we make sure that they are all tight. Don't over tension it because it might break. It's Chinese screws. And we make sure that by using a toothpick we remove all glue, possible glue which is squeezed out. Look, there is quite some glue which still got out, which is a good sign, which it means that our joint is okay. But we need to remove it before it really is dry, because now it is easy to remove it, but once it is dry you only can move it mechanically, which is in other words just with a chisel or something like that, or sandpaper. And it is much, why would you complicate if it can be done easily? So I make sure that all excess glue now is removed. And I must say it's not too much in this case. Okay, that's done. Now we leave it just to dry for some night. We leave it to dry overnight on the base. And tomorrow it will be like hard as a rock. With the raised level, you can see the house with the raised level now. This raised level is, like I said, just to make that this won't be too high, so that the door still can open. In reality, in this case, door isn't. You can't open the door, but then we can start to carve the road now. I see I have to sand away a little bit there to make in order to make it fit under the door. It's a little bit too thick. Still can't fit now. So we can start now with the carving of the road, which I will show you in the next video. And I also will show you how the three supports are made here. Three supports under the roof, because otherwise the roof would collapse there. The overhang is too much. And under the overhang the firewood will still be made, which means that we don't have to carve too much here, this part under the roof, because there will be glued here tiny little pieces of wood which have to imitate the firewood. We only will of course carve there where it is visible. This is old poplar from furniture which is probably more over 50 years old. Well, if we have done those three supports for the overhang here and the carving of the road terrace, then our house will be practically finished. We only need to glue here under the roof here, both sides. We need to here to glue a strip of cardboard also on both sides, which has to imitate the bulkhead. For the rest, the house is done. It must be painted, and if somebody knows how to paint this with washings and dry brushing and to make it realistic and the weathering techniques, I would be very interested if you could explain me. Maybe could you send me a tutorial on how to do it? I would be very grateful. Or even an email just with some advices. Please send me an email on this YouTube channel. The next, before I forget, the next theme will be the church. I will show you a rough sketch so that you have an idea what I'm talking about. The church will be more or less this rough sketch. The front of the building will be higher though, and at the back here will come the tower, which is this part, and at the side will come Gothic windows, which look like here, Gothic windows, and I will make those translucent so that we can put a little light in there, and then with some glass paint I will make the windows look like a real church windows. The benefit of this building is that it will be just plastered cement imitation, and there will be a minimum of carving. Not this was like crazy work, all this carving work I had to do here, but I will make it much easier. This will just be plastered walls everywhere, and some cardboard strips here and there glued. It will be easier to be made, the church. And only the roof will be also with shingles, but maybe they will be not painted in wood color, but in imitation of natural stone. Okay, in the next video I will show you how the carving is done of the road. Thanks for watching.